It's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Max on a Borderlands 3 video, and today we're going over the top 5 rarest pieces of gear in Borderlands 3. Gear that you could spend thousands of hours playing this game and realistically never encounter and never see. And if you do have any of these things, count yourself very, very lucky. Now, before we get into the list, we need to talk about the criteria of the list and how we arrived at them. So first off, all of the gear on this list is desirable, meaning that, like, I could set my sights on a blue pistol with a specific element and a specific part on it with a specific sight and say that odds of me getting that are really, really low. All of these pieces of gear are gear that you'd actually want. I don't care about that blue pistol. These are end game pieces of gear that will genuinely help you, not just like randomly making up a specific purple or blue and saying that's really difficult to get. Next up, all of them are acquirable. There are pieces of gear that are ridiculously hard to get because you cannot actually get them anymore. Pieces of gear that you can't get from the VIP program, or the earworm, which is now like there's no drop source. While that gear is rare, it is not acquirable. It's got no dedicated drop, so it can't really calculate the percentage chance of you getting that piece of gear. And lastly, we're looking at parts of gear and we're not caring about anointments. Yes, you could say that it's going to be rarer to get a Chaosin, for example, with the kill stack anoint, but since you can reroll your anoints now, we're really just focusing on the specific parts that change these pieces of gear and not the anointments. Lastly, the chance of these pieces of gear dropping were calculated with the help of the legendary and unique drop rate table created by Spy and Kyosu, which lists the drop rate chance for every single piece of gear in the game, and comparing that with when we're going for specific parted pieces of gear, using the weapon and item part weight list, which lists every single piece and possible roll on every single piece of gear and the weighted potential of it actually rolling on that piece of gear. This took a lot of effort, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And that, guys, let's get right into it. So to start this list off, at our number 5 spot with a 2% drop chance is the Cut Purse Launchpad. Now, legendary artifacts as a whole are very difficult to farm in this game. The Cut Purse Launchpad is exceptionally difficult with a 2% drop chance because, one, you have to farm this thing from Red Rain, the Slaughter Star 3000 boss, which notoriously throws all your gear off the edge, and you can't refarm this thing. You basically have to do 5 rounds of Slaughter Star every single time. Red Rain is notorious for like glitching out and you're not being able to fast travel out and like repeat the last round over and over again to farm this boss. So it's a total pain in the butt to get, and one of the best artifacts in the game. When you roll this Cut Purse prefix with the Launchpad suffix, the Cut Purse allows you to deal melee damage to replenish your ammo, and the Launchpad means that when you slam down, you're going to send out rockets. These rockets deal melee damage generated from your slam, meaning you slam once and you can get full ammo on all of your weapons, which is insane. It'll give you weapon ammo for the weapon that you're holding, but it also generates ammo for all of your teammates, making this one of the best co-op artifacts to use as well. You put it on and you can give you and your teammates full ammo. I do know that the White Elephant has a smaller drop chance from Agonizer. It is a 1.2% chance to get a White Elephant from Agonizer, but I think the Cut Purse Launchpad is way more useful, and after the White Elephant got nerfed, it really isn't like a super must-have relic, whereas I think the Cut Purse Launchpad is a must-have for all characters at endgame. If you're ever low on ammo and you're in a pinch, you need this thing. Alright, moving on to number 4. Coming in at the number 4 spot is a weapon whose prefix changes everything about this gun, and that is the Boom Sickle. The Boom Sickle with a specific element from the Anointed X4 has a 1.024% chance of dropping. This thing, the sickle, is a very solid weapon, but it completely changes if you get the Boom variant. The Boom variant on the sickle changes all of its damage to splash damage, meaning that it is an incredibly strong weapon on Moes, and with the way that you can scale splash damage in character's damage formula, it is just so far superior to the normal sickle. And you have a very small chance of it coming elemental because most sickles will drop non-elemental, giving you a 1.024% chance to get a specific element of the Boom Sickle. This thing is one of the coolest and rarest weapons in the game because there's not that many weapons that prefix genuinely changes the weapon and how it works and how strong it is as much as the boomsicle. So at number 4, we do have the boomsicle. Coming in at the number 3 spot for the rarest items in Borderlands 3, and this one, we're starting to get very rare. I have never received this thing in my thousands of hours of playing this game, is the Vindicator gas call. Now, I have a roided gas call on screen, but the Vindicator gas call. The Vindicator rolls with both points, divider and roider, and it has a 0.19% chance of dropping from Haunt. Haunt has a 24% chance to drop the gas call, but your chance of getting a Vindicator are 0.19%. On top of this, you have to kill a bunch of enemies to get even into Haunt, and then you can't refarm Haunt with saving quitting. You have to do the whole process over and over again, making this one of the most difficult farms in the entire game and one of the absolute rarest items. Once again, I've never received this thing. The Vindicator gas call is going to get both the roider and the divider, and it is so cool. It's one of the coolest items in the game. You don't have to worry about annoyance on this thing because it can't even roll with annoyance. It doesn't need to. It is that strong. Trust me, this grenade is one of the most powerful grenades in the entire game if you're looking for straight up grenade damage, and it is also one of the rarest. 0.12%. By the way, they can drop from the loot ghost. The loot ghost has a 0.12% chance of dropping a gas call out of it. 0.12%. That's with the 0.19 is calculated from the 24% chance that Haunt drops you a gas call. Just to give you an idea of how ridiculously lucky you need to be to get this freaking item. Before I tell you the number 2 item, I want to give a shout out to the Diluvian Firestorm. Now, this didn't quite make the list because I don't think it's desirable enough. The grenade, while very cool, is not like a must endgame have like the Vindicator, the Cut Purse, or like a Boomsicle. But the Diluvian Firestorm is actually rarer to get than the Vindicator gas call because of all the different parts that the Firestorm can roll with. To get a Diluvian Firestorm, which is a prefix on the Firestorm that creates the biggest Firestorm of all the Firestorm prefixes, the Diluvian is a 0.059 percentage from Aurelia. If you're going to farm this thing from Aurelia, you're going to have a 0.059% chance that you get a Diluvian Firestorm. Once again, not desirable enough to get on this list, but if you do have one, make sure you hold on to it because that is one of the rarest items, even more rare than a Vindicator gas call. Such a cool grenade, but unfortunately just doesn't really have the usage or damage to really fit on this list. Coming in at our number 2 spot is a +5 into 1 skill legendary class mod. Now, god roll class mods in this game are very difficult to acquire. Yes, if we set this list to go for a specific primary attribute on our class mod with specific skills into a certain skill and specific secondary passives on our class mod, the odds of acquiring it would be even smaller. But for this, I just wanted to focus on the skills and getting a +5 class mod. Now, a lot of class mods don't need +5 into skills, and some class mods don't even benefit from having +5. You want an actual distribution between them. But there are a few class mods that genuinely derive a huge benefit from being +5 into 1 skill. And the first class mod that I can think of, the one that I think is the most impactful, is a +5 Violent Momentum Antifreeze for Zane. This class mod drops from the Arbalist of Discipline, and this +5 Violent Momentum is going to give you ridiculous gun damage scaling while you're moving. With 10 out of 5 into Violent Momentum, Zane's going to be achieving at maximum movement speed over 1,600% gun damage, giving this some of the best one-shotting potential in the entire game, and it is very rare to get a +5 Violent Momentum Antifreeze. Now, if we wanted to go for +5 plus like splash damage, that would get even more ridiculous, but just your chances of getting a +5 Violent Momentum Antifreeze is 0.0388% chance. 0.0388% chance of a +5 Violent Momentum Antifreeze from the Arbalist of Discipline. Obviously, if you're looking for good passives on top of that percentage, it's going to get even more ridiculous. But at number 2, our +5 Antifreeze. Yes, there are other characters have good class mods too, and farming for them is ridiculous, but I do think the Antifreeze is one of the genuine only class mods that, like, +5 into a one specific skill makes a big difference. So I wanted to include that on the list. So coming in at our number 1 spot for the rarest item in all of Borderlands 3, and some of you may know what I'm about to say, drum roll please, is the cloning maddening tracker. Now, purple pieces of gear that roll with specific parts are really cool in this game. You've got, like, for example, the one-shotter shield that's going to roll with triple amp, and you've got sticky grenades that'll roll with triple sticky to get ridiculous damage when you stick them to a target. But instead of having this list just be all purples, we're going to talk about a specific parted purple as our number 1 spot, because your odds of getting a specific parted purple are going to be pretty similar for all of them, just ridiculously low. Now, your odds of getting a cloning maddening tracker, and for this we had to calculate the chance of you getting it out of a vending machine, because obviously with world drops it's tough to do, but your chance of, when you check a vending machine, to find a cloning maddening tracker, yo, that was almost close, imagine, is 0.0125% chance to get all of these parts on a Atlas grenade, which are ridiculously rare. Now, the reason the cloning maddening tracker is so good is because of its synergy with Moses' skills like Vampire and Means of Destruction, Pull the Holy Pin, but mainly Vampire. This skill heals Mose not off of the damage that the grenade deals, but the amount of times that a grenade hits an enemy. And on the cloning maddening tracker, you're going to get 24 hits off of one throw, and it's tracking, so you don't need to worry about where you're throwing it at all. You just throw it into the air while you're running around, and every single hit is going to be healing a percentage of your missing health, and one grenade is going to do that 24 times, making this an amazing healing grenade on Mose. Now, with some meta changes for Mose that have happened with Russian Offensive, the CMT isn't as important or necessary. There's other grenades that can get this job done, but it is one of the rarest and hardest to acquire pieces in the entire game, specific purples as a whole, and so it is our number 1 spot. If you ever get a CMT, make sure to hold on to it, because it is amazing for Bloodletter Mose, Blastmaster Mose, any kind of Mose. This thing will work wonders for you. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you want to see more of these things, because it's kind of fun to see how rare some of these items are, be sure to let me know. We could maybe do a part 2 of this video, because there's a lot of things I had to leave off this list that are really cool pieces of gear. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace. I was putting